What up, YouTube? Topaz Yates back for another album review, and this one's to that Wale Folarin 2. But before we jump into the album review, first I gotta give you context. First I gotta let you know exactly how I feel leading up to this project so you can understand my whole review. But if you feel as though you know everything there is to know about Wale, feel free to fast forward to this point here. But who is Wale? DC rapper out here who's looking for his flowers right now, which is the whole theme of Folarin 2. See, Wale deems himself as a top 5 rapper out here, and to be real with you, he has a case. See, when you look at Wale, he got bars, he got delivery, he is a unique artist because he put DC on the whole sound, he did a whole lot for that area, and then he has an extensive catalog, but yet this catalog isn't typical of a top 5 type of MC, you feel me? Like, he has a lot of projects where he got great music on every single project, but when you say it's a full body of great music, not on all of these projects, you feel me? See, the top 3 projects from Wale would be Ambition at number 3, The Gifted, which was easily his best album that he's made for the mainstream, as number 2, and his number 1 best project that he's ever created was a mixtape. It was More About Nothing, as that project shows you the core strength of everything that Wale is all about. And as you listen to his entire catalog, you realize there's way more must-have songs on every single project than there is off of just one full joint. Like, take Pretty Girls for example, which was off of his debut album, The Attention Deficit, where that was like the only song that I consistently listened to off of that project, but it is a classic hands down, and there's a lot of that. And you see that with a lot of his latest projects that he's been dropping, like that Wow That's Crazy, where that only had like 2 songs on it that I still have, and then that Shine project only had 1 song off there, but those songs are still dope, and I still rock with them songs. So putting all this into context, I would have to say Wale is a top 5 through 10 artist. You feel me? I'm sure he wants to be a top 5 period because he does have the skill set for it, but there's just a lot of gaps within his catalog for you to reach him up to that top 5, but there's no slouch for you to be respected as a top 5 through 10 artist. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the Wale Folarin 2 review. I like this album. It feels like he's getting back to his roots. It feels as though he's getting back close to reinvigorating that hunger, that drive, the quality music that he was known for all those years ago, and doing it again. But yet, he's not all the way back yet. There are many instances on this project where you can feel that same vibe, but then there's the other songs on here, like the single Poke It Out, for example. This is him trying to rekindle his female fan base energy of clappers songs, but yet it came a point a while ago where that kind of fell off a cliff, and he's trying to get back up, and sampling Vibrant Thing just wasn't going to be the thing to bring it back. And to be real with you, a lot of the very notable samples in here that he sampled so people know that he sampled this, a lot of those didn't really pan out. Like, take that Name Rings a Bell, which is really that Shabba Ranks, that Ting-a-ling-a-ling. That is a super famous track that he did zero justice to on that. And then you got that Down South, where he's doing an interpolation of Master P's Down South Hustlers on top of a sample of that Tippin' on Fofos. Seemed like it would work, doesn't it? Especially if Wale were going to be lyrical on it, where he didn't really put his best foot forward. But those tracks right there, I really gotta say, I expected more once I realized what all was going on in the background with the productions and all that. But then there were other songs on it that were rather lackluster to me as well, like Tiffany Nikes, where in the second verse what he's trying to do here is call out the racism amongst the white community and stuff, talking about if you going to ignore and remain silent, then you are ultimately helping the racism. And that's real talk, that's real spit, even though, you know, Wale has a mixed history with things like calling out racism and the black community, but yet I'ma stand by you when you stand by us. So I recognize that, I like that, but yet this song, from the production up, really wasn't that big on it. But besides all that, man, there's some great music on here. Some stuff that I really didn't foresee coming, like Starting it off with New Balances, which was the intro. He was trying to set a tone that he really couldn't maintain, but yet the vibe of that production, the way that he flows, everything about that came together as one solid track. My next favorite song was that Caramel, where this is that female-driven style that he's won Grammys for, but yet it's not forced to be a single and forced out like Poke It Out honestly was, but it honestly just came together as a quality track. I also like that Fluctuate song, where what this song is about is the ups and downs that people will have for you and how that correlates directly with status on whether you're making them money or whether they're making money on their own or whether they down bad and broke. I have seen that in my personal life multiple times, you dig? Like, people only treat you a kind of way depending on what all you do for them, and that's directly tied to the bottom line. But overall, the production, the flow, the overall concept, man, this was one of the most solid songs off this project. And my last favorite song was that Beverly Boulevard, where this is him pretty much concluding his case, as this is like the outro of the whole album. This is him concluding his case for him being of top 5. How he's talking about how, like, skill-wise, he's better, he's successful as an individual, as he's a unique artist as well. Am I willing to give him the top 5 now? Nah. Like, still, there's nothing wrong with being top 10. You feel me, Wale? And you're working your way back to making great music again, and I'm hoping that he takes from this and builds on it so he can continue. Like, your resume is not done until you stop putting stuff out there, point blank, period. So he still got a chance of getting there, and he's not that far, but he needs to continue to build that resume as he goes out. I mean, LeBron is still building his resume right now to be considered the GOAT. You can do the same, Wale. But you know we can't end off this review before we talk about the bars. Wale reminds me of Crown Royal, a quality product that is obviously amongst the top of liquors that's out there, but yet people somewhat disregard it though. People more gear themselves towards the new hotness of Casamigos, or they always go for the classic in Hennessy, but yet Crown Royal is always there. And then Crown Royal also delivers its own quality variations that's specifically for women, because women just love it in Crown Apple. Crown Royal is widely recognized and respected amongst the culture, but yet people just don't put it on the pedestal that it honestly should and deserves to be, but it is what it is. As Wale has some notable bars on this, like how he's saying, yo, thirsty for fame, people will do you like Bishop for juice. That's a pretty dope double entendre when you think about it. Like, when you thirsty, you should want juice, right? But yet, he's saying people are thirsty so that they can get fame. And for everybody who remembers the movie Juice, Bishop was just a power-hungry individual trying to kill off all of his friends. You feel me? He tied that all together as one bar. That was pretty solid. But besides that, man, I would say there's a bit of lackluster bars all throughout this though. Like how he's saying, yo, I'm looking like Mike, you looking like Glass Joe. Simplistic punchline based off of Punch Out. It was cool, not on the level in which you would claim to be a top 5 though. Or how he's saying, yo, my whole team will leave you leaking like dirty business. Like, cool bars, again, but yet these bars are sporadic throughout the project. They're not all that potent, they're not that consistent for somebody who's trying to make a play for top 5. It is what it is though, man. Honestly, this project was better than I thought it would be. It's solid, well-rounded, definitely deserving of some praise. Not as much as he hopes it could be, but yet definitely an enjoyable one that I recommend people to go ahead and peep out. I'm giving this one an 8.5 out of 10. You should go ahead and download a bunch of these tracks.